And you can see here we have this first problem saying to convert the angle theta equals 100 degrees to radians. So we want to start with this idea, but we essentially want to figure out what 1 degree is in terms of radians. Because if we can figure out how many radians 1 degree is, then we could just multiply that by 100. So let me first start by dividing each side of this equation by 360. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is so that we can solve to figure out what 1 degree is equal to in terms of radians. So when we do that, we have 1 degree is equal to 2 pi over 360, and the numerator and denominator are each divisible by 2, so I can rewrite that as pi radians over 360. So 1 degree is equal to pi over 360 radians. So if we just multiply this number by 100, then 100 degrees would just be 100 times this. And essentially, we just want to make some simplifications because we want to leave this answer in exact terms. So we can just simplify 100 over 36, or 360, which would be 10 over 36, or 5 over 18. So we have 5 pi over 18 radians. So 100 degrees is equal to this amount of radians. And the second question here essentially asks us to do the opposite. So now we're going to start with radians, and we need to convert to degrees. But again, I'm going to start with this idea, 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians. And the only difference from the previous problem is that now I want to figure out what 1 radian is in terms of degrees. Because if I know what 1 radian is, then I can just multiply it by 8 pi over 9 to be able to find the amount of degrees that we're looking for. So let me just clear a little bit of room here. And to solve for 1 radian, we're going to divide each side by 2 pi. So on the right-hand side, what we're left with is just 1 radian. And on the left-hand side, we can simplify this fraction, dividing the numerator and denominator by 2, so that we get 180 degrees over pi is equal to 1 radian. And at this point, we'll just multiply everything by 8 pi over 9. So that we get 8 pi over 9 radians on the right side. And over here, we're multiplying again by that 8 pi over 9 times 180 degrees over pi. And so we just need to simplify this. And you can see that the pi's are going to cancel out. So we can eliminate these here. And then we have 180 divided by 9. Each of those are divisible by 9, so this would become a 1. And here, this would become 20, because 180 divided by 9 is 20. So then you have 20 times 8, which would be 160. And this is in degrees. So our conclusion is that this 8 pi over 9 radians is equal to 160 degrees.